Okay, we're
We,
we're we're rolling now, Deval, right?
yep, we are
Just make sure the
live.
lights are all. Make sure the
Live.
lights are all. I tell you
Yeah,
the reason why. I want to make sure that I get
your
all the
lights
lights
all
and
on. Hmm?
exactly because this week's episode, folks, this is the
Woo.
madness episode.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
listen, you've downloaded what you're listening to right now is episode 188. It is AKA the
Mm.
Multiverse of Badness episode. So Deval and I are going to be speaking about the main movie this week, this month, whatever. This is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to be bringing you a review, spoilers. We're going to deep dive into it. We're going to be speaking about
Yep.
characters, the whole shebang. So keep listening. And if you haven't seen the movie, then obviously you're going to have to pause it and come back to this one. But listen, we hope you enjoy the show. Before we get into any of all that stuff, Devaldo, take it away. What we're doing.
Quick updates, actually. Not updates, sorry, shout outs. That's what I meant. It's
Mm.
madness. See, the madness has already started.
It's already begun.
But quick shout outs to two people, Ciel Noir Trois or Ciel Noir 3. We always give her a shout out, actually. It's actually really
Yeah.
justified because on Instagram, she's always showing us love. Really, really great page. You go check out her Instagram page. It's Ciel Noir 3. So that's one shout out. Second shout out goes to crypto_queen. You can guess by the name, she's a queen about crypto. So go
Oh,
check out
yeah.
her page. Some really good insights, information that could make you rich. You never know. Not financial advice, but go check out her page and see what kind of crypto tips she has, and go and interact with her there. So yeah, two great shout outs this week, and go check them out.
Brilliant. All right. Okay, folks, you heard that. Go check us. Go check them out. Go check us out. Come and check us out on
Yeah.
Instagram. Keep in touch with us there, and follow us there, and like and subscribe. And on YouTube, if you
Mm.
want to watch the video as well of this episode, you can download it. You can watch it on YouTube, and you can see our beautiful lit up faces. Isn't that right, Deval?
I don't know about that, mate. I don't know about that. Hold on. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I just convinced
Okay. Yeah.
myself. Yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's get into it. So listen, let's
Yeah.
do movie news. So before we get into any other stuff, let's do movie news. And I want to speak about this one first because this was interesting. So check this out. Viola Davis.
Mm.
She's this brilliant Hollywood actor. She's been in some great movies. I still kind of thought she was great in. Do you remember the film that we saw, Widows, Deval?
Oh, gangster film.
Brilliant. It had
Gangster
Daniel
film.
Kaluuya in that one as well.
Yeah.
That was really good. So
Widows,
Viola,
Fences with Denzel Washington.
yes, yeah.
Remember The Help in 2011
Yep,
from way
exactly.
back, but a whole bunch of
Way
stuff. How
back.
how to Get Away with Murder, everything.
Yeah. And kind of like, important for this piece of news is Suicide Squad. She turned up in the Suicide
Mm.
Squad and recently in the James Gunn one. But check this out. The news here is Viola Davis is in talks to reprise her role as Amanda Waller in a new HBO Max series. And James Gunn is apparently going to be producing as well.
Okay.
So they are obviously seeing like where are they going with like HBO Max? They clearly they're seeing these characters develop. Obviously, Suicide Squad, they're going to be doing Peacemaker. Well, they've done Peacemaker.
Yeah.
They we're going to be getting more in the HBO Max universe. Obviously, the Penguin, we're going to be getting that.
Yep.
Now this, what are they trying to do?
I think they've realized that they've got a lane, and their lane is TV. HBO Max is a great platform. Maybe there's less risk applied to that platform in the fact of, movies really require great box office takings to be defined as a success or not a success. Whereas on
Mhm.
HBO Max, I think directors and producers have a bit more creative control, a bit more time to develop the characters, and perhaps people are realizing that, on HBO Max they can really cross that line, and they're allowed to really do what they want to do, which in many cases makes for a better product. So I
Yeah,
think there's a lot of legs to the HBO Max and DC really fleshing out that relationship. So
yeah,
I'm all
yeah.
for it.
Um, Give me a like for like, for example. Give me a HBO Max show, and then now give me a like for like on Disney Plus. What have we got?
Okay.
Is there a like for like
HBO show like for like. Okay, you could say okay.
or the closest?
Closest. Okay, so obviously you got the Disney Plus, uh, Marvel shows. So you got like most recently Moon Knight, which we'll talk a little bit
Yeah,
about. Falcon and Winter Soldier. But I couldn't say so far what's come out so far on HBO Max. I can't see anything that is like for like at the moment because
Mm.
like what's his name again with John Cena, Peacemaker.
Peacemaker.
That was R-rated. That was 18. That show
You
had
could,
effing and blinding. There
you
had
can't do
blood and
that.
gore. You can't do that on Disney Plus. It has to stay Disney.
Yeah.
So that's why HBO Max has their own lane. They're in the
Mm.
fast lane. And though many people might like the middle lane, and
Yeah.
more people drive there, I think on the right on the fast lane it's a higher risk and more thrilling. So it doesn't really stand out.
I love the analogy, and it's great because the analogy works well for the next piece of news. We're talking about fast lanes and maybe fast cars, but check this out: Fast and Furious, Divaldo.
Mm,
You spoke about this. You mentioned about fast. We've got the title of it, and
yeah.
we read somewhere, or we announced on the news, movie news about Charlize Theron. She's going to be in it. Check this out. Justin Lin apparently has quit Fast X. And
What?
check this out. This is crazy. So they announced the movie. Vin Diesel was out on Instagram. Remember, and he was talking about obviously Charlie's Theron or whatever. A couple of days after that, Justin Lin, he quit. And it's just crazy because he's the guy who's been behind the Fast and the Furious for a really long time.
Yeah.
He's been there, Justin Lin. He's been the kind of the force
Oh
behind
my.
it, bringing people together, pulling the strings. And now, could this apparently what they're saying is that there was some creative differences
Yeah.
between him and Vin
Oh,
Diesel.
oh,
Vin Diesel,
God.
he gets involved. He's like, The Rock famously and him, they fell
Mm.
out.
It's his way or the highway. If he's not part of the
E-
familia, then
exactly.
they're going to throw him out the car. He can walk.
And apparently, this is what Justin Lin had to say. He said, Justin Lin is done with the movie. He said, this movie is not worth my mental health.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yes. So
Nah.
who could take over?
Oh my god. Well, I'm pretty
Who's a
sure.
good
Well,
like action?
I mean, the people that have done sort of John Wick recently, I
Yeah.
don't know about that. Films like Expendables, people that are able to bring together teams,
Mm,
of different characters and have a real action-packed adventure. Directors like that. I can't throw any names off the top of my
yeah.
head right now, but yeah, I mean, if he's gone, they've got to find someone quick. Maybe somebody that has directed one of the
One.
recent
James.
films.
What about James One?
Did he direct one of the Fast and Furious
I
films?
think he was one of the beginning ones. I think.
Is it? Okay, maybe him then. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah, he can. I'm sure they'll find
Yeah.
someone, but it might not be as good. That's the thing.
Well, exactly. There you go. And remember, they've got another. There's another one to come after this, right?
Yeah, they're making them back to back,
Well, there
10
you
and
go.
11. Yeah.
10 and 11. Right. Okay, cool.
Mm.
So listen, yeah, folks, go check that out. Who do you reckon could take over the Fast and Furious franchise? Maybe even Vin Diesel. What about if he directs it?
Mm. I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah.
to be behind the camera, in front of the camera, it's a
Yeah.
big thing. I mean, Deval, I mean, you've got experience with that. It's a hard job, right?
It's not easy at all. And plus, I can't think of any. Has he directed anything recently or
Oh,
anything of that scale, especially as well? I know he has directed in the past, but I wouldn't bank on him doing that.
yeah. Toretto, leave it out, mate. All right,
Yeah.
listen. So we've over the last couple of weeks we've spoken about movies that have wrapped, but this is a new one that we want to speak about.
Mm.
So this is Deval. This is Guardians 3, and tell us about this.
Yeah, so this is Guardians Volume 3. That's the official title, I believe, still.
Yeah,
As we know, what happened in Guardians 2, Peter Quill lost his dad, what's his name? Kurt Russell,
ego.
all the Ego the Living Planet, all that beef. Him and Gamora obviously having to deal with what happened with Avengers Endgame, so he's got to reestablish that relationship. Yondu was lost. There's a lot of family. The theme for Avengers Part 3 or Volume 3 is family. That's what I've been told.
Mm,
Family is going to be a massive theme. We're going to find out where, Rocket Raccoon, his origins. But the most important thing here is that it has officially wrapped principal photography, which means that they could do some extra shoots at some point in the year. But the film is due to be released next year, next summer. So it does mean that, yeah, this is actually happening. We might see Adam Warlock, and we might see Silver Surfer.
Mm,
We might see someone else. Who knows what's going to happen? So far, they've kept really tight-lipped, but so far, the fact it's wrapped means that, yeah, the next stages are going to commence special effects, the score, music, all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
interesting times. Next year is a big year for Marvel.
Oh, huge. And doesn't it just, it just proves, right? So they've wrapped filming. It's still going to be they've still got to work on this thing for a whole
Yeah,
year.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy, isn't it? It's like it's done, maybe like you said, reshoots and whatever, music and all that
yeah,
stuff. But yeah, great to kind of hear that it's all done. It's going to be coming, and we'll just have to wait for that one. And the other piece of news is about CinemaCon. So Deval, tell us about
yeah,
this because there's a lot of news that came out of there
yeah.
and some kind of interesting stuff that we want to watch.
I'm just going to sort of reel through quite a few of these because some of these we've got a bit of information because they're quite early in the production process, and some of them there is some footage. So yeah, CinemaCon is a cinema conference basically that happens every year. There's different versions of movie conferences, but this is just one of them basically. And in CinemaCon recently, they talked about John Wick 4 happening.
Mm,
And in John Wick 4, obviously John Wick 3, we saw just was crazy. Keanu
mad.
Reeves on a horse shooting people up,
Yeah,
sword fights, all kinds of shit. And John Wick seems to be picking up pace with each film that comes out. So expect a 5, maybe even a 6. Who knows?
yeah.
Expendables. We mentioned Expendables a few minutes ago, but a part 4 is going to be coming out.
It's
And
mad.
Expendables is all about an ensemble cast of Hollywood's biggest, baddest action heroes with more body counts than anyone. So expect maybe Arnie to show up. Obviously, expect Stallone.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is going to
Jason
show up in this
Jason
one.
Statham.
Jason Statham, obviously, he's there. Dolph
Mm,
Lundgren, possibly. I don't know. Are they going to add more female stars to it? I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be interesting to find out who's going to be in it.
yeah.
Hunger Games prequel. Yeah,
This is mad. Yeah.
Hunger Games prequel. What is going on there? So obviously Jennifer Lawrence ain't going to be involved in that.
Mm,
She done her, was it 4 films? Ed? Was it four
something like
films
that.
or three
3 or 4
films?
films. I can't remember.
A lot of films, but now
Yeah.
they're going to go back. Hollywood fails to create, so they just recycle.
Go back.
So if they
Yeah.
can't go forward, they'll go back to go forward. It's just the way it is. So Hunger Games prequel. Let's see how or who is going to be the Hunger Games main star. We'll let you know when we find out.
Yeah.
Transformers. So Transformers is another Transformers, and this one's going to have beasts involved. So you're going to have the beast. What are they called again? Not the beast bots. What are they called in the cartoons? We had the Dino bots, and we had the animal versions. Basically, you're going to have gorillas.
Okay.
You're going to have all sorts. So this is the next version of Transformers, and there was some footage of this released at CinemaCon. So expect some footage to come out soon
Yeah.
after
Trailer
maybe
probably
the
coming out.
yeah, exactly. At some stage, maybe after Marvel has calmed down, after Jurassic Park maybe has calmed down, they might show us a trailer of Transformers. And then the last bit of news that we found out was Mission Impossible. The next film coming out is going to be called Dead Reckoning Part 1. Remember, the
Is
next 2
it?
films are going to be done in 2 parts. So,
Yeah.
Dead Reckoning Part 1. So what's that one? Is
That's
that going to
mad.
be is that the 4th or 5th film? I just can't keep up. There's a lot of films. Mission
Nah, I think it's
Impossible, one,
eight.
two,
I think
three.
it's eight, 7 or 8. I think.
And you see, I can't keep up. I'm
I
meant to
know.
be
I
the
know.
film
So
person. I
they're
can't
doing
keep up
these.
myself.
So they're doing. Are they doing these ones back to back
Yeah,
as well?
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same
Damn.
director. Yeah, exactly. I think actually it's cheaper to do it that way because you lock in someone for a contract back to
Yeah.
back. The stages, the shoots, the filming, all of that is going to be back to back. So the continuity is better, and also the
Yeah.
time you have people because it's all condensed. I think it works out cheaper for the studio.
Yeah. And this is the one where they're gonna have Haley Atwell, right?
Yes,
Carter.
yeah. Agent Carter. Yeah,
Yeah.
which we'll talk about later.
Which we'll definitely talk about later. All right, okay, so
Yeah.
folks, go check those out. That's your movie news for this week, and remember, keep it up with the Flixters. We've got more for you. Now, let's go on to new on streaming, and we've kind of, this is the same week as Doctor Strange obviously
Mm.
debuted. This is kind of like the final episode of Moon Knight. Obviously came out as well on Wednesday, and I've seen them all now, Deval, so we could speak about this freely. We could talk about
Okay.
exactly the kind of the whole story arc. And listen, look, Moon Knight is an interesting character. He's got a great origin story, and this weird kind of it's a weird character as well, because when you think about,
Yeah.
obviously, the multiple personalities and the DID, obviously, that the character has and everything. And you know I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's a good show. I don't think it's an amazing show. I didn't have the same kind of level of excitement as I had, like, say, watching WandaVision or Loki, or even like Falcon and the Winter Soldier and something like that. So, it's a great kind of thing. And recently, Oscar Isaac, he was asked a question that, will you return for a second season? And he said, he kind of, in a roundabout sort of way, he said no. He goes, he had only had one contract signed, one contract with Marvel, and that was it. And
Mm.
he said he doesn't feel like as if there is any way for them to bring that character back, which I find kind
I
of a
think it's
bit,
bullshitting. I think it's bullshitting.
because the way it ended, oh my
Exactly.
gosh.
Yeah, but I'm with you as well. I wanted to like
Yeah,
this more than I liked
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's a thing where maybe someone close to you makes you a meal, and they've really worked hard on that meal, and you taste it, and inside you're thinking, "Shit, this ain't
I know
all
they
that
could do better.
nice, but I wish I liked it more." But you still got to finish it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that. You can't not
Yeah,
finish it.
trust me,
But yeah,
trust
this one
me.
here, I don't know, episode 6. It, I don't know, it just it didn't take off for me. I mean, the
Mm,
character, he's diverse in his
yeah,
mental state. I don't think his powers are all that great. Actually, it didn't seem like he
yeah,
was all that powerful. The whole god situation was quite interesting. I did a bit of research on the
yeah,
old Egyptian gods and all. There's all kinds of gods, and they're quite interesting. They kind of are similar to the Greek gods for me as well.
yeah,
But I don't know. There's something about Oscar Isaacs that I just there's a failure to connect for me. I think
yeah,
since Apocalypse, there's a bit of a failure for me to connect to him. Nothing wrong with him, but it's just, and that I think has leaked into his performance in the role as
yeah.
well. I
Totally,
did
totally.
like the lady that Layla.
Layla,
I
she
think
was
I
good.
liked her more. I think I liked her more than him, to be
Yeah.
honest.
And then
And
she kind of gets powers. She kind of
yeah,
becomes an avatar of, of a god as well. And she kind of, her suit was really cool.
yeah,
She's able to kick ass. But it's like, I don't know, the way it ends is that, remember, we were always teased that there was another personality within,
yeah,
Mark Spector. So we had
yeah,
Steven, we had Mark,
yeah.
and he's had a few blackouts in episodes like 2 and 3 or whatever and stuff. And there was
Mm,
this other character, and we do finally get to see this other character
mm.
who's pretty mean, and But do we think we are going to get? What else can we do with the show? Because can it then lead on to, um, what's the other one? The one with Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Oh, sorry, the Midnight Suns.
Yeah, could that be a reality? Could
Yeah,
that happen?
it could, because the Midnight Suns. I mean, you got werewolves, you got vampires, you got all sorts of a motley crew that get together and they
Mm,
try and fight, crime, or they try and fight people that are deemed worse than them. So it
yeah.
could be a possibility. But for me, yeah, the show was good. It just wasn't great. It wasn't even near great
Mm.
for me. It was entertaining. For me, I've got my rank now of Marvel Disney Plus shows.
Yeah, go on then.
For me, one, it's One Division,
Yeah,
and I
One
think of
Division's
One
great.
Division and just what it aimed to do, whether it fully succeeded, what it aimed to do was crazy,
Yeah,
and I like that. Winter Soldier's next for me. Then it's I think it's Loki next for me. Then
yeah.
it's What If. Then it's Hawkeye, and then it's this. Have I missed anything?
Uh,
No, I think that's it.
no,
Yeah,
I think that's it. Yeah, I think I can't.
yeah. That's my
Yeah, yeah,
rundown.
yeah. No, no, I totally agree. You
Yeah,
know,
this was last for me.
yeah, exactly. And for me, yeah, for me as well, definitely. I just hope that if they do decide to return to this character,
Mm.
that they can maybe, I don't know, do. The thing is, right? This is kind of like a standalone piece. We don't hear about any other events or versions of kind of what happens in the MCU.
No.
So this is kind of like a standalone thing.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I don't think we heard anything about the snap, or I don't think anyone mentioned Avengers, did they? I don't
No,
think so.
yeah, I just don't kind of think. Even Arthur Harrow, the Ethan Hawke character.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, yeah, obviously, like, he's the villain of the piece and everything. But I don't know. I just felt like as if I wanted maybe Ethan Hawke to maybe be a bit more sinister. He was great. He's a great actor and everything. I just kind
Mm,
of wanted maybe just a bit more, man, from the
yeah,
show overall.
yeah.
But if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on Disney Plus. It's Moon Knight.
Mm,
All 6 episodes are available, and maybe you can let us know how it ranks in your kind of top 10 or top whatever list there are out there
yeah.
for Disney shows. All right, let's do new trailers. Now, this one, Deval.
Mm,
We've been waiting a while for this. This is a
yeah,
prequel. Deval's already spoken about prequels. So, first things first, the expectation I think is going to be pretty high.
yeah,
House of the Dragon. This is in the kind of Game of Thrones world, but this is set way before the events of Game of Thrones, like
yeah.
thousands of years. And what do we reckon, Deval? Is this going to be another big hit for HBO?
I think so. Automatically, if they're going to have the community, all the viewers from Game of Thrones coming over, they're going to
Yeah,
instantly have a massive following. It's whether they keep that following locked in for each of the episodes, and I guess time will tell. But for me, I'm going to definitely watch this. My expectations I'm trying to control.
yeah,
I don't think I'm going to have anything similar to Game of Thrones. I'm not expecting it to be better than Game of Thrones.
yeah.
I'm expecting it to be somewhere along those lines. But for me, yeah, seeing a bit more about the prequel, because you get to hear a lot about all these people, you know, Rhaenyra Targaryen. I think I can't even pronounce the names. I think it's Rhaenyra Targaryen, and you know, Viserys, I
The
think his name
series,
is, or
yeah.
one of those people. But all these Targaryen names that literally roll off the tongue, not my tongue, but all these Targaryens that you hear about that used to ride these dragons and
Dragons, yeah.
were fierce, and all these people, we can see some of them, so it's going to be interesting to see what the Targaryens were really like at their height, because we never
Mm,
experienced that. We saw the Targaryens when they were dispersed and when they were almost killed off. Remember
mm.
that there was two left.
The brother and the
So
sister, right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So, well, two and a half left, Jon Snow. But yeah, it's
Mm,
going to be interesting to see just what this is going to be like. And the trailer
mm.
gives us a bit more. There's a black Targaryen. I saw one with dreads. I'm like, wow,
Is
Targaryens are
it?
black. Yeah,
Look, there you go,
you
diversifying
know,
it. Like
you know,
it's trust me. But
shit.
listen,
So,
the guy. What was Khaleesi's brother's name again in the show?
oh, I think his name might have been Viserion or something.
Yeah,
Began with a V. That's all I know. Yeah,
yeah, and he was a bit of an arsehole in that one.
yeah, yeah,
Remember
exactly.
it was
Yeah,
in the first season, wasn't it? Remember when
yeah.
he got? I met him.
Is it? You met him?
Yeah, I met him. So I had a chat with him once. We were in
Oh, okay.
we went to see a play.
Mm,
This is a while ago, and then he was just there. He was kind of like at the bar and everything, and he had done the play, and
mm,
then we started speaking about obviously Game of Thrones and everything, and he was like. You see him on the screen and you think
mm.
this guy's a right, this guy's a right bastard. But obviously in
Yeah,
real life, I mean,
yeah, yeah. He's a
I'm
nice.
only meeting him for about 5 or 10 minutes,
Yeah, yeah,
but he's like the nicest guy and everything. So yeah, man, it was
yeah,
interesting just to see those two kind of
yeah.
things.
I could see him also being Loki. I don't know what it is, but he's got a.
Yeah,
If Loki wasn't Loki, I think he'll be the next best thing.
yeah, he played Charles Xavier as well. Remember in Legion?
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. He did. Yes, yes. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
him at the end in the
yeah,
last
yeah,
season. That was
yeah.
him. Yeah. So yeah, interesting
Okay.
characters. House of the Dragon. If you haven't seen the
Yeah,
trailer, go check it out.
it's coming
Let
out in
us know
August,
your
isn't it?
thoughts.
August the
Oh
14th, I think.
man.
So 3 months time.
And then we're still waiting for the game of sorry, not the Game of Thrones, the Hobbit thing. What's that? That's coming out on Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah, in September. Yeah,
September.
yeah,
Ooh, bit of competition there. All right,
yeah.
okay. And the next trailer that we're going to speak about is Avatar: The
Mm,
Way of Water. And Deval, can I just say one thing? I just
mm.
wasn't feeling it,
He
man.
wasn't there.
I know. Listen,
Oh,
so
okay.
it was the trailer. It was they showed
It's
it
a
on
subtle
the
trailer, isn't it? It's quite subtle. It's not
really
really
like
yeah,
underplayed and like subdued and
teaser.
everything. It's like, hey, watery, like hey, like that. And I was like, okay, I want like I want to see some battle, which I'm pretty sure there is going to be something, right? And listen, look, it looks great. It looks amazing. The graphics are brilliant,
Mm.
and I don't know. I'm not getting anything from it so far.
I think
However,
it's a teaser. I think it's
this
a
is James
teaser.
Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He doesn't let down. I think Aliens, Titanic,
Ah,
Terminator. I mean, even Avatar. But Avatar 1 was 2009. Don't forget, that's 12 years ago. The technology. Remember,
crazy.
he's the guy who waits for technology to catch up to then
Amazing.
do what he's
What he
imagined.
wanted to
That's why
do.
he waited all those years for Terminator 2. This guy,
Exactly.
he's a perfectionist.
Yeah. So this little teaser trailer is out there, and you don't really know much.
Mm-mm.
It's obviously something to do with the water. New characters. They've got kids.
Mm.
That Sam Worthington character and Zoe Saldana and Neytiri, and
Don't know how, but
yeah. And one of them has got the mask.
yeah,
So is it in the real
yeah.
world? In
Oh,
the kind of
mate.
in that world? I don't know. But yeah, something's going on. It's to do with water, new characters, new kind of challenges, new
Mm,
enemy, new threat. It's all there. Just wait for the movie, I think, and that's December.
mm. So we've got a while to wait. We've got a while to wait 7 months.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, I
In the
can wait.
meantime, guys, you can check out the movie that we're going to speak about in our anniversary corner section. So this is from 20 years ago. Wow,
Mm.
this is 20
20
years.
years.
Deval. Oh my
That's
gosh,
crazy.
man. It's crazy, isn't it? So this is Spider-Man Part 2, and I'm talking about the Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man.
Mm.
And it's just so it fits in so well with the movie that we're going to be speaking about later on. But Spider-Man Part 2 and
Do you
considered
know what? Let me do a little correction. I think
go
it's
on.
Spider-Man 1 that's actually 2002.
Oh,
Spider-Man 2 is 2004. And then Spider-Man
oh
3,
right.
2007. But it's still Spider-Man. It's
It's
still
still
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's
Still
still
Sam
Sam
Raimi.
Raimi. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
So,
Just ignore that. So
yeah.
Spider-Man, which basically you can say like kickstarted the whole, you know,
Yeah,
what mind you,
yeah.
a lot of people would argue, look, X-Men kickstarted it off in the year 2000. So
Some people will
that
argue Blade started off in 98.
98. So whoever you want to go
People are
with,
going to
right?
always argue. That's the thing.
Exactly. So we've got Blade, we've got X-Men, and we've got
Yeah.
this.
Mm,
But clearly, Sam Raimi, his direction, his vision, his style,
yeah.
and Tobey Maguire as obviously Spider-Man. And it was amazing. I remember watching this in cinema, and it was just like crazy, man. It was it's everything that you'd want, like in the year 2002, what you'd want it from a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Great film. I mean, they done the score as well. Danny Elfman, who actually
Mm,
he's in the score for Doctor Strange Madness. Uh, yeah, it was just a top film. I mean, we'd never seen Spider-Man like what we saw in this film.
no.
He had already actually, funny enough, there was a Spider-Man movie that came out in the late 70s, I believe, which was
Yeah.
obviously what you could imagine it being in the 70s.
It's
But
in the
this,
70s.
he was shooting across the sky. He was, it was all. Imagine being like an old school comic book reader and then seeing this happen right before your eyes. I mean,
Yeah.
this was a good film. This kicked off the Raimi verse, if you want to call it that, of the trilogy. I think part two for me it's
It's a
still one of the
classic.
best comic book movies ever made with
Yeah.
Doc Ock and all that. It's just a great movie. But this one, Willem Dafoe, crazy,
Crazy villain.
crazy, yeah, crazy villain. And
Yeah.
and to this day with Spider-Man, No Way Home, he done a
Yeah.
great job in that too. So
Yeah.
what's that noise? Uh,
Oh,
but
shit, man.
something scary. But see, Sam
Got
Raimi's
goblins
all
out
up in
there.
Sam Raimi's all up in my system. But yeah, no, honestly, this film, Spider-Man One, great film. Go see it. 20 years old today. Well, not today, but
Exactly. If
this
you haven't
year.
seen it, that's it. That's all we've got to say. Just go out and see it. And listen, look, that leads us nicely. We could spend the next 15, 20 minutes talking about this. But yeah, that leads us nicely into the film review, my movie of the week, basically. This is
Mm.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness devout. And just remind everyone again, how long have we waited for this movie?
6 years, 2016.
What? This is unheard of. Why is it?
Yeah.
Why has it taken so long for him to get a second outing?
I mean, in that time, you had Infinity War, you
Yeah,
had
Infinity War,
Endgame. I get that, but then
Spider-Man.
yeah, it's just all these. I don't know. Maybe he was busy. Maybe they didn't really know what to do with it. Obviously, Scott
Mm.
Derrickson, he came in, left the project. So I don't know, but 6 years is a long time
It is a long
between
time.
people. Yeah.
And before we started recording, I kind of mentioned to you that I watched just part one, just kind of like earlier on today, and
Mm.
they speak about the multiverse in that movie,
Yeah. Oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
ancient one.
Yeah.
She
She
has this
even said,
conversation.
"Open your eye." Remember she says that?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. She has this whole conversation
Yeah.
with him about the multiverse, and so even from back in 2016, they kind of already thinking about it. Scott Derrickson was already kind of planting the seeds of it. So here we are, 2022. We've waited a while, and you know Dr. Stephen Strange is back. And um, yeah, man, like in terms of kind of plot wise, I mean, let's just go through it, like where it starts off. Where are we in 2020?
Mm.
Obviously, the events of the blip have happened. The events of Spider-Man No Way Home have happened.
Mm.
They kind of speak about that a little bit in this movie
Yeah.
briefly. So that's where we are on the timeline. So it takes place after Spider-Man Far From Home. And crucially, it kind of the movie starts off with a dream,
Mm.
Deval, and we're introduced to a new character. And who's this character?
It is America. What's her name again?
Chavez.
Chavez. That's what I say. Gomez. Gomez is their real name, isn't it?
Yes. And you know what? Her name,
Yeah.
I've got this. America Chavez is played by an actor called Xochitl Gomez.
Mm.
That's how you pronounce the name. It's with an
Is
X, but it's pronounced Xochitl.
She's from, is it Chilean or Peruvian or something? Or
Yes, I think
okay,
so. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
possibly,
Social,
okay,
yeah, Social Gomez,
okay.
and
Okay, so
so we
she'll,
introduce,
okay.
yeah, so we introduce this new character literally in the first, first few moments of the movie. There's this kind of massive, huge sequence where Doctor Strange and America Chavez, they're running, they're kind of getting away from something, and what I loved about it is you're just thrown into the thick of it just
Mm.
immediately, straight away,
Yeah,
straight
I
away,
love when films start that way. Just
just like
is
Spider-Man.
war straight away. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Straight
You
away.
you're just into it, and then it's a different. Yeah, and then when I kind of like looked, when I'm watching the movie, I was like, shit, this Doctor Strange looks a bit different, and
Mm.
is this our Doctor Strange? Is this a different Doctor Strange? And yeah, man, it just kind of sets up the whole thing that we are going to be getting new universes, new characters, new worlds, and interestingly, we don't know whether or not if it's real or if it's a dream.
Exactly, exactly. And I
Deval.
think that's something that I think they touch on it just enough without overdoing it, making you think about the possibilities, and even to mention that because even in real life, someone could actually argue but that could be the case. Maybe
Yeah,
dreams that we have are, because
another
sometimes a
dimension.
dream can feel real, sometimes dreams can almost happen, and it's
Yeah,
like, mate, when you think about it, it's deep.
I
It's
know.
really deep. So I
Trust
like
me,
that.
trust
I
me.
like that.
I like that. I like that whole opening kind of thing. And so there's this kind of chase kind of thing going on in the beginning of the movie. And crucially, Doctor Strange, a version of Doctor Strange, is helping this new character, America Chavez, and things mess up, like things
Mm,
go wrong in the sense that this Doctor Strange, there's kind of like a bit of a kind of a side to him which we've seen
mm.
before, Deval.
It's a
Uh,
ruthless side. He's and I guess you got to have that kind of mentality. I guess in the line of work that he used to do, you got to really make those decisions,
mm,
and you can't second guess yourself. Sometimes you got to cut off the arm to save the body. You know,
mm,
being a surgeon, and you got to have that maybe, and he carries that over into his superhero work. He
yeah,
looks at the bigger picture all the time, and if
exactly.
sacrifices need to be made, he'll call it. He'll call it.
And he calls it in this one, and it kind of doesn't go his way. But what it does is it sends America Chavez into another universe, and that is the Doctor Strange universe that we obviously know, and in this kind
Yeah.
of timeline that we have, where the current MCU timeline. So that's kind of like the beginning, and then obviously we see Doctor Strange. He's at a wedding, Christine Palmer's wedding, and one thing that I kind of liked about this version or this new Doctor Strange is
Mm.
he kind of feels regret.
Yeah.
In the first movie, he's quite arrogant. He's this
Yeah.
person who's like, I can solve anything, I can do it.
Mm.
And, but now he's like, shit, I made a mistake with Christine, and, he still loves her, but he can't do anything about it really because she's moved on. She's getting married.
Mm.
But then at this wedding is another big whole kind of thing that happens. And the first 15, 20 minutes of Devout is just this whole thing where it's like, right, okay, uh, Dr. Stephen Strange, he's thrust into this new adventure. There's a new character. And then the character is being chased by these beings. We don't know who sent these beings.
Mm.
She's being chased because she is able to travel to different universes, and someone wants her power, right? And
Yeah.
then this then leads on to the other kind of like, one of the other main characters in the movie, which is Scarlet Witch, which is Wanda Maximoff.
And
So what happens over there then?
I mean, first of all, I want to say Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch. This film, I think, has really capped off her journey. And when you look at her
Yeah,
journey, yeah, her journey has been one of torment. Like, take a step, just to think of her life from what we've seen it in 20 after Winter Soldier. The post credits showed her and her brother caged, being experimented on. Yeah, so they'd already gone through a Sokovia. The bomb dropped on their house. They didn't
their
ask to come into
parents.
this. The bomb dropped on killed their parents and their family. They were taken away, experimented on, then eventually joined the Avengers. And then obviously one thing led to another. They're part of the Avengers team and they're fighting crime and all that kind of
She
stuff.
loses her brother.
Loses her brother, loses her fella,
Mm,
has kids, loses her kids, loses all sense of connection with people. She goes mad, and
mm,
she we see her at this stage where this is after the events of One Division, which I
yep,
think is great. That you need to watch that to understand this better. She's created a whole new world in One Division, where she had to then give that up again for people, and people are still scared of her. People still hate her,
yeah,
but now we saw at the end of One Division, she assumed the Darkhold, which is
yeah,
a really powerful, powerful artifact that only the top wizards, not wizards, sorcerers can
yeah,
even think of controlling. And that artifact gives you the power to conjure spells, to give you abilities that surpass the most strongest, Sorcerer Supreme, and she's able to then commune with people from different, multiverses
multiverses, yeah,
and do all kinds of shit. So this is the stage to that, but then also having the power to commune with the Darkhold, it corrupts the mind.
yes.
It gives you
So
these.
the more you kind of, the more you read from it, the more you do the spells, then the more you get corrupted, and
Yeah, you
uh,
lose yourself as well, your
yeah,
humanity and your all the things that made you nice. It kind of takes it away and puts something else in there, which this is what we ended up with. This is why the Scarlet Witch became so powerful. When we see
mm,
that when we've been seeing Wanda, she's been getting bit remember powerful each time.
yeah.
Now she's on the next level. No one can even talk to her. She comes off reasonable.
Crazy,
She said
reasonable. See,
reasonable.
this is the thing. We remember we spoke about this months and months and months ago. We were like, okay, could the villain be Nightmare? Could the villain be this person,
Mm,
Mephisto? Could it be this person? But deep down, it was the kind of the villain of the piece
it was
is,
worse.
yeah, exactly. It's like the Scarlet Witch, and she is actually the one who's been sending out these beings and following,
Yeah.
trying to chase down America Chavez,
Hmm.
because Scarlet Witch is so desperate, like Deval just said, so desperate to see her kids, to have her kids one more
Mm,
time. She'll do anything to get hold of that power so that she can then travel the different universes and communicate and have her
mm,
children back again. And then this leads Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch on the path of kind of like where they're going.
mhm.
So Doctor Strange on one side will do anything he can to protect America Chavez. Scarlet Witch, she'll do anything that she can to get hold of that power. And at the end of the day, man, Scarlet Witch, boy, she's grown powerful, man.
Mm, crazy powerful. No one can talk to her. Doctor Strange, Wong,
Yeah.
all of what's their place called again? Doctor Strange's
Oh, Kamatage.
Kamatage, the whole might of Kamatage, even with that bull that they've got, the cannons, they can't touch her. And what I
No.
liked about this as well is that she is well. I guess what I appreciated was that the level of her power when she faces against someone, you really shouldn't be able to walk away from that.
Mm.
Like when she touches you, you should be damaged permanently, and that's why I
Because
think Sam Raimi was able to show that in his horror direction style and
yes.
the way, like, the consequences of her actions are irreversible. She was deading people. You don't really
Yeah.
see that. You don't see even villains. Well, villains you see them kill people, but she killed people like just.
just
just
like willy nilly,
nonchalantly.
man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
she was mad powerful.
She's brilliant. And I love there's a bit in the movie where they're trying to attack her and then she gets into someone's brain.
Yeah, yeah,
She actually gets inside his brain and she's like, she tells him to run.
yeah,
And then when he runs, then basically everyone else starts basically,
yeah.
and then there's just chaos and,
Yeah,
she just
and we've
causes
seen those
destruction
powers. We saw her do that in Avengers Ultron when she
to
got into
Tony Stark.
The Hulk's brain,
Yeah.
Stark's brain, Cap's brain, Black Widow's brain, and she made them all like think of different things. She's mad
Yeah.
powerful. I'm telling you.
Wow, it's brilliant. And the fact is that she's got this Darkhold book and everything. And
Mm,
we kind of mentioned about this when we spoke about this about WandaVision, like the dark spells and evil spells that's behind all that. I think we're
yeah,
going to see more of that maybe with Agatha Harkness
yeah,
with the show that
yes,
comes
yeah.
out. But one thing that I was surprised about before we just carry on, I thought that Doctor Strange was going to have more of a connection to Spider-Man in the
Oh,
sense of him about the universe being opening up and
mm,
about him trying to control that, and I
mm.
thought that it was going to be more of beings came through that universe and he wasn't able to, but
Ah,
the real thing that people need to watch beforehand, though, it, like you said, is WandaVision.
yes, definitely. That's where you understand why she is the way she is, and
Yeah,
you can kind of I don't know, you feel sorry for her, but still what she's doing is wrong, but you can kind of still
it's
you feel sorry
evil.
for her. She's lost so much.
Yeah.
She's lost so much, and this is where she's gotten to,
Yeah. And
you know.
people were kind of like upset with the fact that Scott Derrickson he left the project,
Mm,
and when it was announced that Sam Raimi was going to take over, we were like, okay, this is going to be good.
yeah, yeah,
He brings that horror element, Evil Dead,
yeah,
Drag Me to Hell. There's
yeah,
so many things in there, Deval, which I
yeah.
was like, how
Yeah,
did he get away with it with
because
being a Marvel movie?
this guy, he's gangster. He's been around from ages, remember? But I think also he's brought in his signatures there. There's some of
Mm,
the horror signatures, even the piano, like the piano
yeah,
noises and the way the like she was moving. Like you can see that those movements in the Evil Dead films when there's people that
yeah,
are the
zombie,
half dead
yeah,
people are moving. She was doing all of that, the makeup and all that kind of stuff, and the lighting, and also a bit of the comedy as well. Bruce Campbell was
yeah.
thrown in there,
He
but
was
yeah,
thrown in there as
I
well.
think he's got experience in knowing what to do to balance the light and the dark and making it relatable. But I remember now when they said that this is going to be Disney's first horror film. Kevin Feige
Yeah,
said that a while ago, and I think
they
they
nailed
stuck
it.
to their promise. Yeah,
I
they
I think
did.
they did. They definitely nailed in that one. And
Mm,
Sam Raimi, he's got he's been known to have the one image of the hand coming out the ground,
yeah,
and or like something like that. And you know what? There's a moment in the movie where a version of Doctor Strange he comes out the ground. I thought,
yeah,
you know what? It was brilliant, absolutely amazing. People in the audience that I saw the
yeah,
movie in, they were like, there was a couple of whoops in there, and like they were like,
mm,
they were really, really happy, and I'm so glad that happened. But we get to see one, we get to see two. There's three versions of Doctor Strange in this movie.
yeah. That we get to see. I think they really played with the multiverse. I mean, I want to go straight to the multiversal part
Do it, man, do
where
it.
we get to see something that I didn't. I knew we were. I thought we were going to see it from the trailer when we heard Charles Xavier's voice.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
this
knew
is
he was going to
true.
be in it. Yeah.
But then the way they show the Illuminati for people that don't know who the Illuminati are,
Oh,
so the Illuminati come from the comics
yeah.
and of Marvel, and Illuminati are a secret group of superheroes that get together and they decide on really important, things that the world needs. So it's not just about people fighting crime and whatever, but they need to decide on how things move. In the
Mm,
comics, they decided to banish the Hulk from Earth, and
yeah.
it came back, and he was angry that created World War Hulk. The Illuminati are the top people. So you got Reed Richards as part of the Illuminati. You got Black Panther in the comics, part of Illuminati. You got Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
You got
Tony
I think I
Stark.
Tony Stark, Iron Man, part of Illuminati. I can't remember if Captain Marvel is in the comics, but you got the top people basically that decide on some really serious things, and they gave that to us. They gave us the
Yeah.
Illuminati in the movies, and they didn't just give us the Illuminati that we thought was, the MCU's version that we had
Yeah.
to have because they didn't have the rights. They gave us everybody.
Exactly. So,
Mm,
just to kind of roll it up. So, Mr. Fantastic, as Reed Richards, Devaldo, remember this. Now, this is pretty amazing. I remember months and months and months and months and months ago, or even maybe a year ago, loads of people
Yeah.
online, they put up mock-ups. They put
Yeah.
up these pictures of John Krasinski
Yeah.
as if people don't
And
know who John Krasinski is, he's the actor from The Office, and he's done
mm,
Tom Clancy stuff, and like, you know, he's just
yeah.
The Quiet Place. You know, he's
Yeah.
been in The Quiet Place, and they put pictures of him as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
So that went on, and we were like, oh yeah, that's really good. And that's what they gave us. So
He
in the
gave us what
end,
we want. Hmm.
they gave that. And so they John Krasinski as Reed Richards. They had Monica Rambo. No, was it? No, it's not Monica Rambo, was
Yeah.
it? No, sorry,
It
it
was
was Monica
Maria.
Rambo.
Is it
Sorry,
Monaco or
Maria
Maria?
Rambo.
One of them. Sorry, but yeah, she's in it. Yeah. So the one that was with Captain Marvel, her flight partner.
Yeah.
She's
So
there.
Maria Rambo, she plays Captain Marvel in this
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
And we mentioned before, we got Captain Carter. She plays Captain,
Captain
the version
Britain.
of Captain
Yep.
Britain, basically, in
Yep.
this version. And who else have we got? And we got Bolt, King Bolt,
Black Bolt. Yeah, Black Bolt.
Black
Who's from
Bolt.
the Inhumans, and he's the same actor that was in the TV show. So they
Exactly.
brought him
Anson Mount.
involved as yeah, yeah, exactly. And also, I don't know how Mordo got involved, but Mordo, Mordo's part of the Illuminati.
Mordo's in there as well.
And then
He's
Professor
so
X.
miserable.
I know he is. It makes me laugh. There, he's a good character. It makes me laugh.
Yeah. And Professor X turns up as well.
Oh,
But the whole
in
thing is,
his
though,
yellow wheelchair from the X-Men cartoon and the
is
comics. And if you remember when he showed up, they played Ding
the
Ling Ling
music
Ling Ling from the
from the
cartoon.
cartoons. Oh,
Come on, man. They gave us
that was
that part.
wicked.
All that was for the fans.
Yes, that was
I don't
brilliant.
know if Reed Richards, John Krasinski will carry on. Some people are saying that was just for the
Just for
fans. Not
that,
yeah, because obviously there's different multiversal variations of them, so they can
yeah.
still play with that. But I think that people are saying we're not going to get John Krasinski as Captain Fantastic because they want someone younger to grow into the role, all that kind of
I,
thing. But
I get that because he's in
mm,
his he must be in his mid 40s now.
yeah, easily, yeah,
And
easily,
if they want to make like a good 3 movies,
yeah,
that's gonna be like another
yeah,
5 or 6 years,
yeah.
a
At least
minimum of
you,
six
you you
years.
need about 8 years, at least 8 years runtime from the first film to the last. You need about 8 years usually.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And well, listen, it's taken Doctor Strange 6 years to make, just to get the
yeah,
second one. So who knows if
exactly.
they ever got
Yeah.
delays. So there's this big battle sequence in that Earth. I think it's Earth 838, I think it is. And
Mm.
Scarlet Witch, she basically deals with all of them. Like, but here's the thing, Devaldo, isn't the her battle with the Captain Marvel, she dealt with Captain Marvel easily.
I don't
I
know
thought
what
Cap I thought Captain
Captain.
Marvel is supposed to be some next level, like,
Yeah,
powerful
but
being.
she did. If you notice, because first, okay, Black Bolt, his power is crazy. He can just whisper
His
and kill
voice,
you.
yeah.
If he shouts, he can blow up a moon.
And
But
she
I love
dealt
the
with
way
him
she
so
just
wickedly.
internal, literally just dealt with him. Captain Fantastic was just quick.
Yeah,
Just dealt with him. I think that's when people realized she's not messing around because she's dealt with
yeah.
people quick. I saw people in cinema going, "What?
Huh?
What?"
What? She just
Honestly,
sliced Captain Carter in half.
in half exactly. But I think with Captain Marvel, you'll notice that when they were doing their little sort of dance of powers in the flying around and stuff,
Yeah,
the camera goes to the Scarlet Witch. It goes to her for a second, and it shows her kind of like grimace because she had to
right.
concentrate a bit more to deal with her. So
Okay.
I think she kind of stripped her power, or she done something to her where she was depowered, and it stripped her powers away, and then she was able to deal with her. Because I think normally that statue that fell on her, we shouldn't normally kill her. So she kind
That
of
shouldn't kill her, yeah.
yeah, she kind of stripped her powers away, I think, and then dealt with her. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, and then Charles Xavier, she dealt with. I
Deals with
mean,
him. Like,
yeah,
and the thing is, the body count, like, they rack up. Like Scarlet Witch, she actually is killing, like,
yeah,
she kills lots
about
of people
50
in this earth.
people, about 50
Yeah.
people, I reckon.
And I think people might be surprised about that because they might be thinking, shit, hang on a second, like,
Mm,
the danger's real, like, with this
yeah.
character. So she's after the kid and, Doctor Strange, and then
Mm,
another version of Christine Palmer, they kind of go off, and that whole underground scene in the kind of bunkers bit where
mhm.
Scarlet Witch is following them and she looks like a zombie, which harks back to the What If. and everything.
Hmm.
So that was
Hmm.
all good. There's elements of what if in here as
Mm.
well, which are brilliant. And you know what? It's so good. You should watch What If as well, by the way. Because they kind of lend for it, each other. But then obviously kind of there's this cat and mouse
And
going on, and
That Doctor Strange that was in this, the dark one, he's the one from the What If.
the
Because in
one
the
from
What
What
If
If
in the What If TV show, he was going through different multiverses trying to find
to save
his
Christy.
Christine Palmer. And that's the
Yes,
same way. He said the same thing in the film. This is how tight they are. They weaved it together so
that,
tight.
that is brilliant. And then so they go off, and Doctor Strange, he needs he needs to get the Darkhold as well. Basically, the good
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, he needs to get hold of the Darkhold. And obviously, there is that thing, isn't there, about what if he gets corrupted then?
Mm.
Is there
Yeah.
going to be some sort of repercussion and everything like that? And then we'll speak about the ending and everything. But so there's a battle between Doctor Strange and Doctor Strange, which is great as well. They use the music, which
Very
I kind of
different. Never seen that before.
I've never seen
Very
that one
different.
before, Devaldo.
Mm. Very
Beating each
different.
other up with musical notes,
Mm.
which was I'd never seen it before, and I was just like, shit, okay, this is interesting. So
Yeah.
so there's all this stuff going on in there, and Doctor Strange has to have enough power to be able to defeat the Scarlet Witch,
Mm.
or you know, um, or get her to see what she's doing is wrong. And I
Yeah.
think that happens when Scarlet Witch meets Scarlet Witch. So Wanda
Yeah.
meets Wanda, and there's this kind of a little bit of a
Yeah.
scene going on, which I thought was really good as well.
And that was a
Sam
smart move
Raimi,
because that was America Chavez because she realized she couldn't. I mean, her powers we sort of talked about them before, but she's not really ready to fight. Really, she's
no,
her main powers is into multiversal travel, which she can't really do on purpose. She does it when she's stressed, but she realizes how to do it. There's a bit of a cheesy moment at the end where he says, "Oh, get into your soul. You can do it. You can do it."
yeah, yeah,
So that happens. But yeah, at the end of the day, no one can beat her. No one beat her. Let's just put it out. Nobody beat her. They
yeah,
had to show her the error of her own ways, and she had to
yep,
see. Scarlet Witch had to see for herself through her kids running away from her, scared that she was doing the wrong thing. Because really, really and truly, no one could touch her. Let's get that right. America Chavez couldn't beat her.
nah,
Like she's mad. I just can't. That's why I think they had to kill her off, because any villains that come into the fray, what they've got to do is send Scarlet Witch. She's too much for anyone.
yeah. But then
She's too much.
the question is, a lot of people are saying is basically, well, did she actually die? Could that have killed her?
That's it. Because at the end of when the sort of building crashed, there was a bit of red there, and I wasn't
Exactly.
sure if that was like some sort of protection thing. But I reckon, really and truly, when you think about it, yeah, when you really think about it, there's no coming back from this. There's more red on her
Mm,
ledger than blooming Black Widow, who thought she killed one person. She said, "Oh, I
one
got red on my
person.
ledger."
Yeah.
She killed 50 plus people. There's no way she can come back and start fighting in Avengers again. Remember what happened with her and the Sokovia Accords? Remember when
Oh,
she went to Nigeria and she threw the bomb into the sky and it killed people in the building.
yeah, exactly.
So the people already think she's a killer. So now
Yeah,
she's gone out and done this on purpose,
yeah.
even though
I
she was
wonder.
corrupt.
There
She can't
was
come back from that.
there was kind of rumors that she might, because people responded really well to WandaVision.
Mm.
There was a possibly maybe that she could get her own movie, but I wonder how far that goes into kind of, is
Must be
she
some
able to come
real
back and
redemption. That's going to be a movie of real redemption. She's going to have to kill someone who is grotesque and
mm,
mad evil for her to look good.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know.
exactly.
The damage
And
control in that one's crazy.
I
Not
know.
even doing.
And you know what the thing is, throughout the movie, after the movie, I was thinking,
Mm.
shit, there's another Vision out there. There's another version of Vision is out there.
Oh, the white version.
The white version of
Yeah,
Vision is
yeah,
out there.
yeah.
It
The
just
white
kind of
version.
reminded me.
Yeah.
It just kind of reminded me of like the way that the Wonder Vision
Mm.
finished. There is another version, but
You
so
know what they
listen,
say
look,
though, innit? You know what they say though. Once you go color vision, you don't go. You don't go back. Once you go color, once you go full color, you don't
there's
go
no
back.
going back. Oh my gosh. Um, Oh damn. So
Oh
listen, look, the
mate.
movie for me, it had so many kind of like, great moments in there. There is a lot to kind of get through, and
Mm,
it does move at 100 miles per hour and everything. And I get it because they want to
mm,
show that it is mad, and there's so many different moving parts and everything.
yeah,
And there's one, we get to the end of the kind of the movie, and Scarlet Witch has been dealt with, and America Chavez, she's safe. The dark
mm,
hold has been kind of destroyed, and seemingly everyone's in a good place. But there is, obviously, this being the MCU, there is a little twist at the end.
yeah,
We mentioned the dark hold. Doctor Strange used the dark hold, and there is kind of one little thing where shows us that it's not the end of the dark hold, or it's not the end of that kind of that
yeah.
that
I think
sinister side.
interacting with the dark hole, you don't walk away scot free. And I think there is
Mm,
a bit of a residual dark holdness inside him in the fact that his third eye opens up. But in the comics, that's also there. So they might just be working on some sort of evolution of the character. I'm
right.
hoping that the Darkhold hasn't got a grip of him. It's
Yeah.
just opened up his ability to then use that third eye. It looks weird, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
But
And then
yeah,
one of the mid credit scene is he's walking down the street, and
mm,
he gets stopped by another character played by Charlize Theron. And I kind of was looking into this whole thing, and a lot of people are
mate,
saying it could be a character called Clea,
yeah,
who's like kind of like someone that
it
he
is her.
marries. Yeah,
It's her. Yeah,
yeah, it's her, right?
clear. It's
And
her.
she is, just to remind everyone, she's the daughter of, sorry, no,
The,
she's the
the
niece
niece. Yeah.
of Dormammu. And this is
Which is
mad.
why when she cut open the fabric in space and time,
You see the
we
dark
looked
dimension,
in. It's the dark dimension, and she is a good character. She's like on an. She's mad powerful as well. She's like a sorcerer supreme in her own right. And if
right?
those two are going to be getting together and fighting something else, because we haven't even mentioned this once. The whole thing about this film, how many times did they say the word incursion?
Incursion,
Incursion. She said it when she came and said, "You've caused an incursion," and
incursion.
it's basically messed things up.
Yeah,
Reed Richards said incursion. Incursions is when two universes from different multiverses collide, and that the collision causes an incursion, which is it's basically bullshit. They've messed up the universe,
yeah,
and shit needs to get fixed. In the
yeah.
comics, that happens, and that creates the secret wars, and it
Was
creates the multiversal wars. Kang talked about multiversal wars in the Loki TV show. They've spoken about multiversal wars happening.
and
This
this
is
could
going to
lead
get
up to it, all of
messy.
it.
Yeah, this is it. This is opening the door for the multiversal wars and all kinds of shit that follows on from it.
So she
Shit
uses
just
some
got
sort of
real.
weapon. She uses some sort of weapon, and she slices
Mm,
open kind of like the fabric of the universe, and they
yeah.
both go into it. And it's just mad because then obviously now we know that he goes off into another adventure,
Mm,
and crucially, at the end, it does say Doctor Strange will return.
yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's my thing. Here's my only gripe. Okay, so the film
Okay.
ended, and then we get to see another kind of funny little end credit scene. Wouldn't it have been great, Devaldo, if
Mm,
wouldn't it have been great for the future of the MCU, for for the fans, for the storyline, if they had a scene where Reed Richards
mm.
wakes up from a nightmare, and then it just ends, and it's John Krasinski.
Oh, that would have been wicked, because then
So
that actually further cements the idea that dreams are just fragments of other realities.
of other realities. So
But
wouldn't
the
it be
only thing is though, yeah, I was gonna say the only thing is though, the idea is great, but only if they are definitely planning to
going to
use
plan to
him.
have John Krasinski? Yeah.
That's the only thing. But that idea, that's a wicked idea. That is a wicked idea.
I just thought it would have been
That is a wicked
brilliant
idea.
if he'd woken up, and it would be like, shit, he's just had a nightmare,
Yeah,
and we
that's a
know that
wicked
it's Reed
idea.
Richards.
Yeah,
And then I just thought, so then we don't know anything about plot, and then it sets up the fact that, okay, we're definitely going to
yeah,
get a Reed Richards, but obviously,
yeah,
yeah, you're right. Is it going to be
yeah.
John Krasinski?
Or even Charles can be like,
Yeah.
someone could just be like, You know what I mean? That's all it takes. A little. Any one of those characters could have been. You
That would have
know,
been
from now
wicked.
on, that's how I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna be sleeping. And wait, even if I wake up, it's the most craziest dream. I had £1 million. That's what I'm gonna do.
Seriously, man, I'm telling you, that would have been, and and then we got this funny little thing that we got at the end with Bruce Campbell and everything, which
Mm,
is you got to watch the movie to kind of get that whole joke thing. But I just thought, oh my
mm.
gosh, they could have set up like something else.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
Fantastic Four. No, listen, look, listen, look.
yeah.
What it
I think
means is
what they've done so far, I think on a really level, on sort of light touch level, as to not put too much pressure on themselves.
sure,
I think they've given us a taste of what's possible. I think
yeah,
maybe because I think I heard a while ago that they didn't want to make the Easter eggs too concrete. They didn't want to put too much pressure on
right,
future projects, so they wanted to make it a bit more standalone-ish. But this one, yeah, they've done quite a lot. And even what's her name? Social Gomez.
yeah.
She's only 16. No, she's 18. Just turned
Wow,
18. She's
damn
young.
it.
She's done
So
really well
she's
in that
gonna get.
film.
So she's
Just
gonna
turned
get like,
18.
yeah. So she's.
2006 date of birth. Flipping heck. I remember writing that date down.
Oh my gosh, man! Trust me. So then that she's probably signed up for to do at least about 3 movies, and
Yeah.
like she's probably going to be turning up in
Telling you, man,
another
it's going to be a
New
new
Avengers.
Avengers or young event. I'm telling you, it's all in place. The Hawkeye, Kate Bishop,
Yes,
America Chavez. Who else is there? There's
Spider.
just
Are we going to get Spider-Man? Is he going to
well,
do it?
Spider-Man. He's there. You're going to have Shuri, perhaps. We've got Riri Williams to
Mm.
come. We've got all these youngsters that are going to get together.
Oh man, it's going to be
Spider-Man's
great.
going to be the leader. I'm telling you.
Yeah, yeah. And I think you're definitely right about this whole leading up to Secret Wars. There's more talk of that happening. Um, we don't know what Sword is doing, and I think the
Mm,
Kree and the Skrulls. We don't know what's going on over there, so we'll find out exactly what's going on in Captain Marvel Part 2. I'm pretty sure that's going to be happening, and we'll just have to wait and see how this all pans out. But so far, I hope we don't wait too long for another Doctor Strange movie.
mm. I hope no more than 3 years, but
Mm,
he did say in one of his interviews that he's going to take a little bit of a break from acting after
wow.
this. I think he's done quite a lot, so he's going to take a little break. I'm not sure how long that break is, but I hope no more than 3 years because I think that'd be too long.
Yeah. And do you
Yeah,
think he'll be able to carry on? Like, how many more, realistically speaking? Because listen, a lot of these characters, they have a shelf life because characters, they want to move on and do other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. I think if he does
And
one more Doctor Strange film, but maybe show up in another couple of films, uh, I think. Yeah, I mean, or maybe in the future as well, not have his own film, but show up. Just how that these days they seem to tag team quite a lot.
yeah.
So maybe he can be that sort of person. If he wants to do other stuff.
Mm. And like, and just going back a bit, I mean, I think how much do we believe this turnaround that Scarlet Witch had? Like, she does go like evil, man. She,
For me, I believe it. Like I
yeah,
say,
because of the dark hold has
mm,
kind of controlled her mind.
yeah, and I believe it because what she's been through is when you
Mm,
sit down and really think about it. It all started from a blimmin' rock landing on her house and killing her parents.
yeah,
From then on, she's experienced nothing but loss, loss, loss. And what happens to Anakin Skywalker? Didn't he turn into Darth Vader from
yeah,
fearing of loss? Remember, he
absolutely.
he he feared that he's going to lose Padme,
Mm.
and then fear turns to loss, loss turns to hate turns to the dark side.
Check
This
you
was
out,
that.
Yoda.
She turned to Darth Vader right before our eyes, and it was all because of the fear of losing her kids. Because even Wong, again, Benedict Wong, that's his real name, isn't it? Benedict
Yeah,
Wong.
Benedict Wong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he done great in this film. He had a lot more
yeah,
screen
he's good.
time, done a real good job. But even he said to her, "Why don't you just get America Chavez to send you to where you want to go?"
To
And she
Yeah.
said, "No, I want the power because what if they get sick?
What if they get
I need
sick?
to."
Yeah.
So again, the fear of loss has turned her deeper into the dark side. So yeah, I believe it. It's
Mm,
bad, but I believe it. This is something that can happen to people. People
yeah.
do this sort of shit.
Another thing they could have done was they could have shown because. I think we spoke about this. Cathone, he's the author of the
Mm.
book.
Yeah, he's the author. Because I think back in the day there was the elders that were the people that looked after Earth. They were all magical, next level
Mm,
sort of people. He was one of the elders that was there from ages ago. Wrote the Dark Hold. There were other people around as well. Agamotto was around. He
yeah,
the Eye of Agamotto,
which Strange
and
has, yeah,
exactly other sort of high level sorcerers,
relics.
and then obviously now we've got what we've got. Vishanti. I love the names, by the way. I mean, these are names
The
that,
Book of
I mean, come on.
Vishanti.
Oh, come
Come on,
on.
man. Who?
Cagliostro, the Boots of Khartoum. All
Oh
these, I mean,
man, it's
these are
brilliant. Seriously.
Crimson Bands of Citarax. I mean, come
Oh
on, man.
gosh. You know what? We need to let listeners know. Listen, look, right? If you make sure you watch One Division and you got to watch What If.
Yeah.
You got to watch the episode where if what if Doctor Strange didn't lose his hands but he lost his
Mm.
heart. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of like it's one of those episodes, so you definitely got to watch that, and it kind of
Yeah.
sets up
Mm.
why Doctor Strange goes off and goes mad and
Yeah.
whatever. So definitely those would be kind of your homework
Yeah.
before you watch or even after you watch it.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
it's a great movie actually. I was really surprised, and I know you've seen it good 3-4 times now.
3 times.
So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I want to fit it in one more time, because watching it the second time you notice
Yeah.
things more and you see
Yes.
kind of things in a different
Yes.
way. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm
it's
sure
definitely
there's
our
stuff
movie of the
we've
week.
even missed because there's so much to talk about, but I'm sure there's stuff
Ah,
we've missed. If you guys know of anything, any other Easter eggs, let us know, because there's a whole bunch. I mean, we could be talking about this film for hours.
I know, I
We
know.
literally could, literally.
Exactly. But listen, hope you enjoyed the show. That's it for today. And yeah, get in touch with us on
Mm.
Instagram. Let us know what you think. If you have seen the movie, we'll put a
Does
post
it
out
break
there.
your rank? Does it break your Marvel fight top 5 or top
Uh,
10? It's a tough question. I just
it's a
dropped it on
tough
you.
one,
What are
man.
you gonna do? What's you gonna
Wow.
do?
You know what? I want to watch it for the second time. I got to watch it for the
Okay,
second
yeah,
time.
watch it for more. For me,
Yeah,
it doesn't break my top 5. My top 5 being Infinity War,
yeah,
Civil War, Winter Soldier,
uh-huh.
Avengers 1, and I think
Yes.
Spider-Man. Far from home.
Far from
Sorry,
Home
no way home.
No Way Home.
I think that breaks in.
Yeah,
My top 10 is a tough one. I think Iron Man's still there. I think
I love Iron Man.
uh, I don't know. Top 5 is
I
top
like
10 is
Ragnarok. Ragnarok is up there as well
Ragnarok
for
is
me.
good. Yeah, Ragnarok is good. So this one, I don't know. It might get into my top 10. I'm not sure, but it's an interesting one. So let us know, what's your Marvel top 10 as well. Does it break
Oh,
into your Marvel top 10 or your top 5? Do let us know for sure.
absolutely. All right. Keep it locked with
Yeah,
us, and we'll see you on the next one, folks.
cool. Peace out.
Okay.
And
We're rolling now, Deval, right?
yep, we are
Just make sure the
live.
lights are all, make sure the
Live.
lights are all. I tell you
Yeah,
the reason why. I want to make sure that I get
your
all the
lights
lights
are
and
on. Mhm.
exactly, because this week's
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Just pop in the Flixters podcast.